Hello, how are you? Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the start of 2025. Woo! Thank you for the couple of weeks off. Those of you that were like, yeah, you take Christmas off. That's absolutely fine. Of course you can. I've been going down a bit of a rabbit hole when it comes to research and history. And although I don't know the full story, I think it's something that's cool to show you. It's a forgotten building. It's an ignored building, possibly one of the oldest buildings in Edinburgh. It's tucked away. You can't find it. And as I've been looking at the history of it, I'm like, why is this ignored? Why are we ignoring this? Why are we not doing anything with it? Why, it's beautiful. So it starts off with where we are right now. So for those of you not sure where we are, that there is Market Street, and as you can see, that's the train station car park and the train station train line right there. There's Calton Hill, that's Calton Hill right there. Waterloo Place is up there. And so prior to that being a train station, believe it or not, it wasn't always a train station. It was houses and streets and building a market, and funnily enough, things like that. Now, let's do a little bit of history again. It was the Norloch. But there was a canal, there was a stream there first. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of it. I've done a full story on it, but I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head. That was blocked up to create the Norloch for defensive purposes for Edinburgh Castle. And then when they decided to create the new town, the Norloch was drained to become Prince Street Gardens. At the other end, in this part right here, this part in there was buildings. There was actually a street called Canal Street. Funny that. Right beside the canal. And there was a few other things. Over back up there, as we're going into Edinburgh Dungeons and things, there was a fruit market and a vegetable market and little bits like that, hence Market Street. See? I've got a little map up here. Have a look at this map. It's cool. What is really cool, what you can see, is you can see the little mound. You see the little, forgive me, I've not got the map in front of me, but you're looking at it. It's something Little Mound Street or something like that, which I love, because I've done a big set. I've told you all about the mound before, and the mound was rubble from the building of the new town that essentially they said, well, this actually makes sense as a route from the new town to the old town. They kept, and it's called the mound. This being Little Mound means there was another little set of rubble that they went, right, it's not as big, but it's a handy little route, and they kept it as a road, as Little Mound. But now it's gone, because now there's Waverley Bridge. Not Waverley Bridge. Yes, Waverley Bridge instead. But I love that there was a mound and a little mound. I never knew that. I got really excited when I saw that. But anyway, at one point, with all of this that was going on, there was a church in there called Trinity Church. It's one of the oldest buildings here. There's a medieval church, 1400s. 1460, I think, roughly, is the earliest I could find. Now, it's a church with a bad, unfortunate history. It was never properly completed when it was there. But it was there, and it was there for a long time. Now, when train lines and things started to be, expanded, and a train station was needed, around about the mid-1800s, there were, this was going to become the train station, which it obviously still is now. But like I said, there was a church there, and there was a orphan hospital, and obviously there was the market up there as well. There was an order by the government of forceful sales. I think that is the correct. They were forced to sell. They were allowed to forcefully buy all the property there, buy them out. Church was one of the things. Now, due to a few different things, they were given £18,000 in the 1800s. Council was given £18,000 in the 1800s, which is a massive amount of money. It's a lot of money now, but you can imagine how much it is then, to relocate the church. Just as we continue this story and I get down to more of an area, let's show you where we are. I'm on Market Street now. There's the arches and the brand new Edinburgh Gin Distillery and tour and bars and things. Let's have a look at that just while we're here. Look at that. I know it's nothing to do with this video, but look at that. How cool is that? I'm really glad that they've really made use of these arches. They've really transformed the area. Like, for a long time, these were just boarded up. And I've showed you the arches before, but this now is that was just a waste bit of land with the arches there. And now Edinburgh Gin have built this extraordinary distillery and experience and bars and tasting. You can get up to it from up there on Jeffrey Street, or you can come here as well. Maybe one day we'll go in and have a look, but I think it's beautiful. I think they've done an incredible job. It looks great. Well done, Edinburgh Gin. Now, looking at the maps, I'm not a cartographer or anything like that, so I don't know exactly where the church was, but the best I can figure is it was kind of there somewhere, because I found some pictures, and I'll show you some pictures of just before it was destroyed, and it's not the greatest pictures, it's the earliest stages of photography, but it's kind of looking that way, and you can see Cotton Hill behind, so I'm guessing it's about there somewhere where the church once stood. Ironically, as I talk about with the City of Edinburgh Council buildings beside me here, Edinburgh Council were given £18,000 to relocate the church. However, they kind of didn't. They were kind of hoping that all the congregation of the church would kind of get absorbed into other local churches and local congregations, and were hoping to kind of keep the £18,000. Unfortunately for them, the government told them, no, you have to relocate this church. However, they did let them only use they said you have to use at least £7,000 of it to relocate this church. Where £11,000 of that money went, I have no idea. But they did decide to use £7,000 of the money to relocate the church that was here somewhere. There was a problem with that though. The church had been very, very carefully dismantled into individual bricks, numbered, and then put on Cotton Hill. There was a rubble of all these bricks that were put up there. So we're a couple of years now since it got demolished, and unfortunately a large percentage of all the rubble and the stones were used for other buildings, because the new town was still getting built or expanded and things were going on. So a lot of that was gone. It was gone. We've got a church that was supposed to be moved. It's been demolished. It's been numbered. Half of those have now gone. Probably 2/3 of those bricks have now gone. They're left with some of it, and they're like, well, we've got £7,000. We're supposed to build a church. That church. What are we going to do? They've got a dilemma. Where can we build? Now, this street behind me, well, not behind me, that I'm starting to walk on now, Jeffrey Street, right there, which is this street right there that leads from Market Street up to the Royal Mile, was just starting to be built. It was being created again as the improvement plan from New Town and Old Town and expansion of Edinburgh and all these sort of things. So an easier route to get from the Old Town to the New Town, that was starting to be built. So they're like, well, seems as good a place as any, and it's actually, it was about here, and we'll show you where in a second, but they've moved, that means they've been moving it from there to about there. But like I said, what's left of it? 2/3 of it is gone in other buildings, lost to history now. So they did start to rebuild it, and with all the bricks that they did have, they rebuilt to the best of their ability the choir section and the hall section, and that's been named Trinity Apes or Apes. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, Apes or Apes. And they added more of a church section on the front of it, and I have a picture of it here, so you can see here's the whole thing from Jeffrey Street, and that back section right there is Trinity Apes. However, again, this church really didn't have much luck. Eventually, the front section was knocked down to make way for this, which originally was office buildings and things, but now it's a hotel. And the church was round about where the entrance is to the hotel right there, actually. And the reason I know that is because they could only knock down the front section. The back section, the Trinity Apes section, the original section, is listed. It's listed as an A building. You can't knock it down. It's protected. And you can still see it. It's hidden here. But if we just stand to the side here, and there's the hotel, and we look in here, What, pray tell, is that? That is part of Trinity Apes, the original thing. Now, unfortunately, we can't go in it. It's not open, and I don't know when it'll ever be open again. It is a shame. It's beautiful. Here's some pictures I've found of the inside of it. For those of you locals that might remember, I think for a short period, for a decent period, it was the brass rubbing centre, which I remember going to as a kid. I remember having a lot of fun there as a kid, getting taken to school. But you can get to it. What you've got to do, there's two ways you can get to it. You can get to it here, through this sort of, well, bottom end of a close here, through there, and cut to the right, and I'll show you that now. So here's where we've just cut through. And if I turn round, look, let me zoom out a bit. Look at this. Now you can see where the other part of the church, the newer part, was joint on there. Big sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, entranceway into the hallway there from the other part of the church, which is now blocked up. And if we go around, show you a bit more. You can't get to it all now. This is the best I can show you, that part there. You can see these beautiful big windows here. There's now obviously a building going up here, so they're not going to get much light shining in them now. And there is even some ground here as well. Again, we can't get into it anymore. Here's a little bit about what I was just telling you. Remains and recycled medieval church, part of the Trinity College Church, founded in 1460, which does make it part of the oldest building in Edinburgh, apart from St Margaret's Chapel, which is over 900 years old. The other oldest medieval building on the Royal Mile officially is John Knox's house, which was 1470. So technically this is 10 years older. Technically. If we look in here, we can see, look at that. You can also get down to it down here, down Chalmers Close, right down there. Just show you where we are on the Royal Mile. Tronkirk. Paisley Close is just there, and if we look down here, there's John Knox's house, there's our friends at the Fudge Kitchen right there, right opposite the Museum of Childhood. So if you go down there, you'll see it down there as well. So there you have it. There you have it. Edinburgh's hidden, forgotten about, oldest building, tucked away in a close, behind a hotel that no one can see. I've had to drill down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this one. I found lots of other information, like the little mound. Love that, love that. Hope you've enjoyed that. Something a bit different, a little bit hidden history there for you. I've really enjoyed this one. As always, leave a like, leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I look forward to 2025 with you all. But till next time, bye humans.